financial literate, you are not a consumer to everything.
You right by the dollar will open up every other avenue for you.
This happened because of they were not financial literate.
Have things that you didn't even know you wanted until you get to that level.
I'm not a guru, I'm a Doru because I actually do this business. Hey guys, it's Nasser, aka the Real Estate Doru. I'm not a guru, I'm a Doru because I actually do this business. Alright, I'm back with Jonathan Thomas. We are going to go over how does financial literacy affect you as a person. Okay, before I get into it, I personally think, right, when you're financial literate, you are not a consumer to everything, right? So for example, you have people that they are an asset to Mercedes-Benz, but they're a liability to themselves, okay? They're paying this jacked up rate, this jacked up price, and they had good credit, they had the income to afford it, but because they were not financial literate, they didn't know that, wait, I'm overpaying for this. These numbers don't make sense. And that's with any car manufacturer. Like literally, I was in the process of buying the car recently. This was going on at my local dealership. They were putting these numbers in front of me and I'm like, wait, that don't make sense. You know, I'm well above 700 in my credit scores. Yes, I'm telling you, yeah, I'm gonna put down a down payment, but they were just trying to increase it and screw me. And then on top of that, they were trying to sell me the car they wanted to sell.
Yeah.
So not the one I want. Not the one I go on there and point now. Yeah, I want that GLE. Right. They like, nah, let me show you this GLC. And I'm like, nah, I got GLE money. They like, nah, you got GLC money. And I'm like, whoa. You know, so going through that whole thing, man. But so how does being financial literate affect you as a person?
I'm glad you mentioned that because where do most people make the biggest mistake of their financial life? Most people don't get to the stage of buying a home. They usually mess themselves up with the car dealership. So like you said, number one, that jacked up rate. That jacked up rate, I guarantee you the bank probably offered you a 2, maybe a 1. They added in, they made it a 5 or 6. So what happens with that difference of between 2 and 6? Well, the dealership gets to keep that. So
my cameraman told he put me onto that when I was looking for a car.
Yeah. So that's one. So that's one thing. Second thing is there is no rule that you qualify or you apply and you're qualified for this vehicle. I've had that happen to me. I'm just saying that happens to a lot of people. You don't qualify for a particular 06 or 07 or 0 whatever car. You qualify for an amount of money. And if you don't understand that, if somebody tells you, hey, you qualify for this car, then number one, take one thing from that. Hey, I'm qualified. So that means, hey, I need to go, they ran my credit, I'm gonna go to the credit union, I'm gonna go get better terms anyway, and I'm gonna go take this check and I'm gonna just go buy what I want. That's how it actually works. But how does financial literacy start to affect things? Well, number one, financial literacy and investing, this is the key to your freedom. And when I say freedom, I'm talking about you get to do what you want. Maybe you like binge watching content like Nazir is putting on right now. Well, if I didn't have financial freedom, I couldn't be here with him chopping it up for hours, and I'm not worried about time at all. I couldn't have my daughter at home daily with me. My wife wouldn't be at home daily with us right now if we didn't have the financial means and things are still getting paid and we're still saving and investing. That's what the money does. Our country runs off the currency of the dollar. Whether you want to engage in it or whether you want, but the dollar is the key to your freedom. And the way, if you do right by the dollar will open up every other avenue for you. Absolutely. So, well, what's the difference? Well, right now, what's resurfacing right now is the net worth. So we're in 2021, so about 5 years ago, there was a stat that came out. The average black family net worth is about $17,000. The average white family net worth was about $107,000.
Yeah, I see that.
What's the difference? Well, the difference is, number one, what if your parents knew that investing $100 a month when you were born into the stock market, when you got 18, turns into $160,000. $100 per month, that's $1,200 a year. 12 times 18. You're right about $36,000, but the balance is $160,000. If they knew that, it changes the trajectory of, number one, not only what you're able to do, but how you buy. You could buy your own house for free. If you buy your own house for free, well, what do you do with the money that you would pay for a mortgage? You would invest, you would buy real estate, you would give, you would, you would do whatever you want to do. If you don't have no mortgage and you only have to pay for utilities, which average person on a $200,000 home is probably paying about $300 in utilities and things of maintenance, you only have to come up with $300 a month. Would you be working the job you're working now? So what financial literacy does is it helps you understand, number one, how can you be successful? And it's still the greatest country in the world to make money in. In this whole country, the way we're set up, everybody can be wealthy. It's not just for somebody select. It's not just for you and I. It's the point of, okay, I know I can be wealthy, but financial literacy helps me understand what are the things I need to do. And then once you get to that stage of understanding, hey, I do need to control my money. I do need to save and invest. I do need to buy real estate because these are things that grow in value and allow me more money to do the things that I want to do.
Absolutely. And when I tell my counterparts, right? Because my parents, they were both born under Jim Crow.
Okay.
So therefore, they couldn't by law do certain things. They had got their rights, the civil rights, during their lifetime, and then we had to deal with redlining. Mm-hmm. And whereas we couldn't buy in certain communities, right. And what that did with the wealth exchange was, okay, you're allowed to live in this neighborhood because you're on the right side of the skin color, so therefore, when your parents pass, you're going to inherit this asset for $300,000. Right. Now, us on the other side of the town, the property value didn't really increase. Also, the financial education, because some places were just now getting open to accepting African Americans into the institutions and things like that. So that's a long story. But what we're saying is, if you when we say if you're like a parent or something, just think about what if you were to do that for your child? And we had this conversation off our camera. When you're inheriting money, now you work with finances. Now, right. I just see this stuff on the street, right. And people, counterparts, and the interactions. Right. But if you're saving something for your kid, the most important thing is not the money you're saving for your kid, but that financial education you're giving to your kid.
Absolutely.
I know I'm going to tell a story. I know you probably got 50 stories, so I'm going to let you comment on it. I know somebody. He was dealing with a person, and I'm going to just say a person. Their father had created a trust with $1 million in it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's $1 million cash or asset. I didn't get the details on asking that. But whenever they split the money in the nest egg, everybody got, there you go, $333. Mm-hmm. Now, even when you were broke, you probably know wait, $15,000, $20,000, that's a down payment of a new life. Mm-hmm. We talking about $333 now. Right. Right. So, right.
You done cleaned up your whole life at that point. Even if you did the $333, you would be back at the million in near 7 years.
Exactly, right? So so $330, all right, so they inherited $333. One of the sisters kept it. I don't know what happened to the other one, but one of them were able to keep their money. The one of them, what they did was they got the $333, and I think this is more of a self-esteem issue. All right, education, self-esteem. So they went to go get that car they wanted. I want to say they bought the first one cash. Let's say it was the Audi. Bought it cash, right? So bought that joint, cashed out on it, $70,000, $80,000 car. Ooh. A year later, they seen the BMW. I got money. You can't tell me nothing. But what happens is, right, when you cash out cars, you have to be aware of negative equity. Mm-hmm. Financial literacy, you have to be aware of negative equity. You're going to lose value, and that's fine if you're okay with that, right. But not if it's leading you to a black hole. They went and got the BMW, the car that they got 80. All right, well, we can give you, say, 60. That car, they had to finance. The second car, right? Uh-huh. They took a payment. So they traded in the car, got a payment for the second one. By the third one, they seen the Benz truck. They went to go get the Benz truck. They keep these cars for a year. Apparently they have something to prove. So they keep these cars for a year. By the third car was repossessed. The vacations they got out of that $333 was a trip to Miami and some pocketbooks. And now that person literally is working a minimum wage job, trying to get by. But this happened because of they were not financial literate. Like, you get that amount of money out of thin air, your first purchase shouldn't be a car.
Right.
The only that should not be the first thing you think, especially a luxury car.
Right.
You know, okay, if you don't have a car, hey, look, I'm about to go take $10,000, we'll give me a Toyota, a Honda, I'm gonna lay low, and I figure out what I'm gonna do with the rest of this money. But I know in your field, you probably hear those stories all the time.
Well, yeah, and I think the biggest thing is the lump sum. So if you get $333,000, remember, maybe you knew that would come in your lifetime, but you want to be smart about how you did it. So, or what you do with it, because in my mind, in the financial world, we would say that's your get out of jail free card. So if you don't play it right, then it's what's going to happen. So what I would have said, and this is where financial literacy comes into play. If, as a trustee, if I'm setting up a trust, I would have said, hey, you have a decision. I'm going to give you $333,000. That's door A or option A. You can not take the $333 and let me hold it and keep it invested, and in 7 years you'll have $666. You can. This is financial literacy. So that's option 2. If you hold it for 7 years, then you can take out $160, leave $500. So $160, you can go buy a car, a house, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Go Spurs, do whatever. Yeah. Leave the $500. Do another 7 years. Now that $500 then turned into $1 million. So in the course of 14 years, progressively, you done went from $333. You didn't add anything extra to this. You didn't turn $333 into $1 million. Now you got $1 million cash. You need a house. Go buy you a $250,000, $300,000 house. You still have $700 left. In 7 years, that's 700, 1.4. What we're talking about is the rule of 72, but the point of it is the financial literacy. Had you have known, would you have taken the 333 or would you have held it off? You've been without the 333 this long, what's 7 more years? And if you're investing on your own or whatever, or maybe you just squander all your money knowing that in the back of your mind, hey, I got this money, I'm straight. Maybe that's your maybe you just now have a 7-year plan. But financial literacy allows you to not only have everything you could ever, not even have everything that you could want, have things that you didn't even know you wanted until you get to that level. Because as you can say, you know what I mean, when you pay off your debt, when you pay off your credit cards and all that, and you start investing, things come up that you're like, man, I didn't even know you could rent a jet, or I didn't know it only cost that much, or I didn't know, you know what I mean? There's a lot of opportunity that you didn't know. I didn't know people work like this. Right. You know what I mean? So I didn't know that. Yeah. But you can. But you'll never get there if, as soon as you get $1, you're negative $1.50. The point of financial literacy is this could change the trajectory of your life. But most importantly, for any and everybody, especially in this time and this past situation, have shown how good is your financial plan. Are you handcuffed to your situation, or do you have the freedom you want? Can you go anytime you want to your kids? Can you go take them to McDonald's, or can you go take them to a nice restaurant? Is that going to impact you? Can you pick up and go out of town if need be? If someone passed, could you take care of the funeral because they just didn't have life insurance? If you pass, do you have enough assets to where your child is taken care of enormously? But the financial literacy is, number one, to help you get all the things in your dreams for you, your family, your friends, all those type of things. But then also help it be sustainable so that never again will your being broke be everybody else's that comes behind you and your family. It's a powerful theme, my friend. Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna wrap it up. So tell people your YouTube channel and your social media, please. Yeah, Money Talks on YouTube, Money Talks on Facebook. Constantly posting. People are asking questions. Use it as a resource. The whole point is to give you decision making in the moment. Money Talks on YouTube. We're walking you through how to budget, what decisions you need to make, how to manage to pay off your debt, and start to build wealth using the stock market, using real estate, understanding all those different pieces. And then you can catch me on IG, J Thomas Solutions. Definitely appreciate your support there. So guys, I'm gonna put my social media on the screen, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Please, as usual, I wish you much success in your life and in your business. Peace.